Over the past decade, Vin Diesel has become an international movie superstar, thanks in large part to his signature role as big bald strongman in fast car movies. Oh, hold on, actually he's the other one? Yeah, there we go. Using his superhuman physique and almost supernatural deep voice, Vin Diesel has carved out quite a niche for himself in Hollywood that doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon. But while Vin has built a reputation as being a bit of a badass on-screen, off-screen things start to get weird. Because when he doesn't have a script to fall back on and has to form words and, God forbid, sentences with his tiny little meatball brain, things start to go south pretty quickly in the most fascinating way.
When did this turn into I love you?
But to understand who he is now, we must start at the beginning. Vin Diesel was born in 1932 inside of a burning building. His father, a camel, worked in the famine industry, which was thriving at the time. You know, maybe I don't need to do a video essay for everything. Brush tool and perfect. Hey guy, welcome back to the first and only channel on YouTube where, as you can probably tell, I moved. And although I'll always cherish the memories I have from inside that cheap-ass apartment that was basically just one medium-sized room infested with cockroaches, I'm excited to move on to this new, more expensive chapter in my life. The best thing about living in a house as opposed to the second floor of a 3-story apartment is I no longer have to deal with upstairs neighbors, which in my case happen to be 6 of the loudest human beings in the world. That's right, I said 6. They also lived in a 1-bedroom apartment, so try and figure that one out, because I never did. But that's all water under the bridge, I suppose, because things are already starting to look up for old Drew. In fact, why don't I give you guys a quick tour of the place? You already know your boy's out here starting his house tour in the bathroom. But the fun doesn't end there, guys, because we also got another bathroom. Finally, Amanda and I can pee at the same time without making as big of a mess. We've also got a garage, which is so far proving to be the perfect place to hold all of my tools. And best of all, I no longer have to film videos in my living room because for the first time in my adult life, I have my own office. Ah, shit, probably should have exited out of that before we started filming. That was embarrassing. Anyway, guys, today we're going to be talking about Vin Diesel. I have to admit I've never actually seen any of the Fast and Furious movies, but it seems like Vin Diesel is perfect at playing whatever character it is he's playing in those movies. But they're definitely not targeted at me. I've never really been much of a car guy. It's just not in my DNA. In fact, my favorite thing about my car is the custom bumper stickers I made and put on my car. I have a thread about that on Twitter if you're a fan of self-promotion. But the point is, I've never actually seen any of the Fast and Furious movies or Triple X or Chronicles of Riddick or The Last Witch Hunter for that matter. Now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure the only Vin Diesel movie I've seen is The Pacifier, the 2005 Disney classic where he plays like a Navy SEAL who has to babysit a bunch of kids as part of a recon mission. Predictably, things get off to a bit of a rocky start, but by the end, he's teaching them a thing or two about self-defense. The kids teach him about the power of family. It's a great movie. I've seen it like 10 times. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is I haven't seen a lot of Vin Diesel movies. Like I said in the beginning though, this video isn't about his acting, which is perfectly fine. It's about what happens when he doesn't have a script. The most popular example of Vin Diesel cringe was on this interview from a couple years ago with a Brazilian reporter, and I'll only touch on this briefly because a lot of you probably already saw this. This was on the H3 podcast, but it's still worth talking about. So the first few minutes of this interview are pretty normal. He's just talking about the film he's in and a little bit of a history about his career, and then he starts to bore himself, and he instead turns his attention to the interviewer and just bombards her with compliments.
But Tom Hanks was the first one, and God, you're so beautiful. God, she's so beautiful, man. Am I right or wrong? Look at her. How am I supposed to do this interview? Look at this woman.
Tell me your story.
She's so beautiful. Coño, man. Talk to me, baby. Let's get out of here. Let's go. Let's go have lunch. My God, I love her. Look how beautiful she is.
Thank you.
God, wow. Man.
So, Tom Hanks?
Wow.
He just keeps going at it, and she does her best to get the interview back on track. But then a few minutes later, I guess his brain just can't handle this much conversation, so he just goes back to like, you are beautiful, let's go home and fuck.
I love her. Man, she's so fucking sexy. I can't do this interview. Am I the only one that's saying it? Look at her. She's so fucking beautiful. It's
Thank
like
you.
you can't even do an interview with her because you're just like da 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 da.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to watch. But I guess that would be the definition of cringe, so we're off to a good start.
When did this turn into Beautiful World?
So that was a big deal a couple of years ago, rightfully so. It's very weird, but it doesn't even come close to ending there. There's so much more. So let's dive a little bit deeper, but to do so, we need to head over to Facebook. Vin Diesel is the king of Facebook. If you had to guess how many people currently like Vin Diesel's page on Facebook, his fan page, how many do you think? 10 million? 50 million? Not even close. 100 million people like the Vin Diesel fan page on Facebook. Vin Diesel and Facebook are a match made in heaven. And the main reason for that is Facebook live streams.
I'm doing a live, guys, so just have a seat and this is gonna be fun.
I've never seen someone use so many words to say so little. Watch the first 30 seconds of this one and see how much he actually says.
I'm giving you big hugs in a second. I'm giving you big hugs in a second. I'm doing a live. I'm doing a live. I'll give big hugs in a second. I'm doing a live. I'm doing a live.
No, he's not.
I am doing a live. I'm doing a live. And
Oh my God.
the reason why I'm doing a live is because
Oh, wait, I think I missed it. What is he doing?
I'm doing a live.
Oh, he's doing a live. Okay. After spending about 2 minutes saying that he's doing a live and eventually saying he's doing a live because he's thankful to Comcast.
Comcast has come in and done wonders.
He says that, you know, it's Saturday night and while everyone's having fun, as
As they
they should,
should,
the cast of Fast and Furious is here brainstorming ideas.
We try to imagine what would excite you in the future, what storylines you would like to see continued, and we try to find the truth in our mythology, and we try to maintain the integrity that is what the Fast and Furious saga has become.
Chew on that for a while.
Just to give you an idea of the type of people that will come and brainstorm with me.
He's always blowing up the spot live.
You get the feeling that Michelle Rodriguez here and everyone else in the room was like, oh, not again. He's not doing another one of these things, is he? He's gonna incorporate us in it, and he's not gonna say anything, and we're just gonna have to sit there and smile for several minutes.
You're watching a Facebook Live right now.
That's right, Vin. That's what we're doing.
I guess what this visual shows you is dedication and a commitment to integrity.
Commitment to integrity.
So this is alive.
Oh, it's alive. I wasn't sure. I don't know about you guys, but it's hard to even focus on what he's saying because all I can see is that giant ass thing in his teeth. But you ready for this? You want to see something, guys? Just pay close attention to where it is and then watch this next clip.
Come on, of course they can. The Pami Gente does not
is
impeccable. Stop it. Listen.
It moved! I've never seen that in my life. This is comedy right here, guys. I don't want to hear anybody else's idea of what comedy is because it's this. We found it. Okay, here's another live stream where he was at the Avengers Infinity War premiere and he's talking to the camera. He's addressing, you know, the live Facebook audience, and then he goes to like another red carpet interview, and like mid-sentence, in the middle of his own sentence, completely forgets that he's live streaming and just casually puts his phone in his pocket.
Look at that action.
Oh my, okay.
Look at that action.
I want to
All right, let me get on this. Guys, you see this? It's the group coming out on me. I came to the premiere, and group just...
And it just continues to sit in there for the next 10 minutes before he finally pulls it out and realizes what he did.
Yeah, no, let him flow. Oh my God. Yo, you guys have been in my pocket the whole time.
Oh I mean, he obviously handled it well, but God, that's hilarious. This one actually starts off pretty normal, but that only lasts about 90 seconds.
Chinese food.
You see, Vin is a big fan of milestones. He always celebrates a milestone with a live stream, and he just hit a big one, 50 million. But unfortunately, thanks to some bad timing, he is traveling when he hits it. He's on a plane in the middle of his big day. Not to worry though, he has a plan to make up for it. He goes ahead and plays this very special video that he seems to have filmed and edited himself as a bit of a special treat for the fans. I mean, don't get me wrong, his silhouette looks very sexy, but God, did he not listen to that audio beforehand? So that goes on for about 5 minutes, and then he cuts back to himself and says this. He says nothing. He doesn't say anything.
That was pretty cool.
Here's another live stream of his that was apparently right before he was going on Jimmy Kimmel. Nothing too crazy to see here, except 60% of it is upside down. There is one pretty weird interaction here, though, when he's talking to these football players backstage, and he refers to himself as Daddy.
They're the real thing.
Show. We warmed them up for you.
They warmed him up for me. They warmed him up for Daddy. Thank you, guys.
And after making sure to establish himself as the biggest alpha male in the room, he goes out and nails that interview.
Purple.
Purple. Maybe that's what it is.
Purple.
I'll admit that it might be a little unfair of me to judge him too harshly based on live streams. A lot of times in live streams, you know, I've done Twitch a few times, you say some weird things, it's natural. I don't have nipples on my ankles, so I don't want to judge him too harshly for that. But what we can do is look through some of his Facebook posts. Now, these are of course things that he had the idea to post, thought about it, decided, yes, I will post that, and then he posted it. So a lot of extra steps there, a lot of room for potentially being like, oh, maybe I won't do that, but he went ahead and decided anyway. So these are prime Vin Diesel posts. Let's check them out. Here's a fan edit from 2015 where he is being sensually embraced by an elephant. It's not so much the fact that this picture exists, but the fact that he chose to put it on his page. Thank you, world, for making the new XXX, The Return of Xander Cage, the #1 movie in the world, is the caption to this picture. I'm not sure I see the correlation. To accomplish great things, we must dream as well as act. Great quote, great picture. What is with him and elephants? I don't understand. He's got some really good self-quotes that he's used as cover photos, like this one. Well, love motivates me in everything I do. Vin Diesel. That's a perfectly good quote, but why even include the well? It's like he had to think about it for a second. Well, love motivates me in everything I do. Protect our sacred places. And then it's a picture of him standing in front of Stonehenge. Guys, you've gotta protect Stonehenge. Have you seen those rocks? All stacked up on top of each other, all funny like? We gotta protect them. Don't mind me just casually skipping past 3 consecutive photos that heavily feature elephants, including this one where I suppose shirtless Vin Diesel is protecting New York from a giant elephant? I don't understand. And then finally we have this one from 2012 captioned Angels. And then it's, well, I don't even know what to say about this. So Vin Diesel seems like a pretty wacky guy, but it doesn't stop at internet videos or funny memes or live streams. There's one more thing I need to show you guys, and I'm really excited about this. I was gonna make a whole video about this a few months ago, but then I just put it on the shelf for a while, and then I realized while making this one that this would make for the perfect ending. And no, this isn't entirely about Vin Diesel, I just wanna go ahead and preface that now, but he does have a pretty large role in this, and I would be remiss if I went through this whole video without even mentioning it. And the thing I'm talking about, of course, is the Fast and Furious ride at Universal Studios. Fast and Furious Supercharged is the newest attraction at Universal Studios Orlando, and also, coincidentally, the worst ride I have ever been on in my life. When my soon-to-be wife Amanda, who used to work at Universal, first took me on this ride a few months ago, she prefaced it by saying that the line is better than the ride. I'm pretty sure she meant this as a positive, but after being underwhelmed by the fact that the line is essentially just a very long garage, I started to get a bad feeling about what was in store for me. The first red flag that pops up is the sheer plot of the ride. I imagine between all 75 of the Fast and Furious movies, they could have found one exciting storyline to be the centerpiece of this ride, but instead, here's the plot. You and the rest of the people on board are on a party bus, and you're on your way to a party. But right before you get on the ride, you find out that the FBI is here to raid the place. They never say why or what the FBI is trying to find. I guess it's us? They're trying to crack down on us having fun? I don't know, but like, that's the plot of this ride? Why not just, I don't know, do a race? And then we could just drive fast. That would be fun. I'd want to ride that. Instead, you spend the entire 6 minutes sitting on a slow-moving bus watching the ride. This isn't ideal for a theme park attraction, but it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if the thing you spent the whole ride watching wasn't a total cringe fest.
You're under arrest right now!
I've seen bad acting at theme parks before, but good God, I thought these guys were professionals.
We don't work for nobody.
Oh yeah, there he is. There's my guy.
Driver, move that vehicle.
He seems really happy to be a part of this. Also, what the hell is this animation? Did they 3D animate each character using PlayStation 2 graphics? They couldn't have just green screened this shit and spent more than, I don't know, 4 days on it? This is embarrassing, and I'm not the only one who feels this way. The top comment on this POV YouTube video I'm borrowing some extra footage from is this. The camera doesn't do it justice. It's much worse in person. This ride does its best to tarnish the great legacy that Universal Studios has always had in my eyes. Its shittiness to me is highlighted by the fact that it's right next to the Mummy ride, which has been around forever and is the most fun indoor roller coaster I've ever been on. I've gone on this ride probably 100 times, and it's still fun.
I would have enjoyed this interview a lot more if I had got my cup of coffee!
You ride the Fast and Furious ride once, and it makes you want to throw away your annual pass. I don't know how much they care though, because they could have put literally anything here and it would still do its job of showcasing a few cool cars and the ridiculously overpriced merch, including this entire section of signed paraphernalia by Michelle Rodriguez. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. This video is about Vin Diesel, and as bad as this ride is, it does do a good job of saving the best for last. You see, I was pretty disappointed coming out of the ride until I spotted my hero, my knight in shining armor, Vin. It's crazy he has the time to stand perfectly still all day long considering all of his movies that are coming up, but I'm so glad he does. Best day ever. Well, that was fun. I gotta do that again sometime. So, what was your favorite part of the video? Yeah, that was pretty funny, but my favorite part of the video was the ad read, which I'm now realizing I haven't done yet. Big hugs in a second, guys. Doing an ad read. Big hugs in 1 second. I'm doing an ad read. And the reason I'm doing an ad read is because today's video is sponsored by Skillshare. We learned a lot today about our Lord and Savior Vin Diesel, but if you're like me and you have an unquenchable thirst for knowledge and you love to learn new things, you're gonna wanna sign up for Skillshare. Skillshare has thousands of online classes in literally any area of expertise you can think of. The classes I tend to use the most tend to relate to filmmaking and video editing, graphic design because I suck at graphic design, and even as a somewhat veteran guitar player, I actually found their guitar tutorials very useful. For example, I finally learned how to properly hold this thing, which is like this. But it's not just extracurricular skills like that. You can also learn more practical things like which foods are causing you to gain weight, how to give the perfect foot massage, how to meditate. And I know exactly what you're thinking right now, Drew, that sounds great and all, but there's no way in hell that they have an entire class devoted to the one thing that I need, which is learning how to design a recycling aquaculture system for fish farms. And guess what, bitch? You're wrong, because they do. You can get unlimited access to their entire online video library for less than $10 a month with an annual subscription. You can also get your first 2 months free if you go to skl.sh/DrewGooden2 or just click the link in the description because that's a lot easier. This offer is only available to the first 1,000 people who sign up using this link, so if you want to get a leg up on all the other fish farmers out there, you're not gonna want to wait. Thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Remember guys, link in the description if you are interested in signing up. That's gonna do it for today, guy. As always, if this video gets 1 billion likes, I will legally marry Joey Salads, whether he wants me to or not. Remember to comment a very specific reference to this video so you can prove to me that you actually watched it, and hit that subscribe button as fast and as furiously as humanly possible. Don't forget to tune in next week to see me get stuck in a tree. Good night, everyone.